In Canada, Interac e-transfer is a popular way to send money to friends and family, buy things, and pay bills. However, before sending or accepting e-transfers, ensure that they are legitimate and free of suspicious behavior. You don't want to send funds to the wrong person or expose yourself to identity theft. Since e-transfers have grown so popular in Canada, they have become a target for scammers. So yes, Southern Georgian Bay OPP and the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre are warning people about a new variation of the bank investigator scam. Let's begin today's video. The scam. Recently, provincial police and the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre expressed worry about new types of financial scams. These schemes include fraudsters imitating financial institutions, including credit unions. According to the authorities, victims have received calls from scammers using fake call display numbers and claiming to be from a bank. Then the victim will be tricked into believing that they need to send an Interac e-transfer transaction to their own cell phone number in order to keep their account safe until a new debit card is issued. The suspect then will guide the victim through the steps of adding themselves as a payee and increasing their daily Interac e-transfer limit to $10,000. It should be noted that depending on the sender's financial institution, the maximum amount that can be sent using the Interac e-transfer network may change. If a sender exceeds the limit set by the financial institution, Interac will automatically refuse to finish the transaction. The suspect supplies the e-transfer question and answer that the victim must provide during the transfer. After the victim completes the transaction, the suspects will ask for a code, which is the last part of the Interac e-transfer URL or link received. If the victim shares the URL, suspects will be able to deposit the funds into their own account. According to authorities, in some situations, suspects can supply some of the victim's personal information, such as name, date of birth, phone number, address, and debit card number, to make the call appear genuine. Additionally, suspects are spoofing financial institution phone numbers or are providing fraudulent callback phone numbers which impersonate the financial institution. Police encourage the public not to assume that phone numbers displayed on their call displays are correct, and if you receive a call and answer it, inform the caller that you will call them back. In that case, authorities recommend calling the number on the back of your bank card from another phone or waiting 10 minutes before making the outgoing call. They can also just visit the branch in person. Yes, even you should never provide details of links or URLs received via text or email and should not share codes with anyone. How e-transfer scams work. The way e-transfer scams work varies depending on the type of scam. A few popular scams are more common and can be very convincing if you don't know what you're looking for. No matter what fraud you encounter, you should take the same safeguards to protect your own account. So, there are more variations of bank investigator scams. Let's take a deep look inside those scams. Firstly, there is a scam called tech support scam. In this case, victims receive an automated phone call claiming to be from their banking institution, law authorities, or, in some circumstances, Amazon, informing them of fraudulent activities in their accounts. Attackers will ask to access the victims' computers in order to carry out further investigations. Victims are then displayed a fake transaction from their online bank accounts. The suspects claim they need the victim's assistance in an ongoing investigation against the crooks who stole their money and ask the victims to contribute funds as part of the so-called inquiry. In certain circumstances, scammers would add the victim as a payee using a phony email address and instruct them to transfer a big sum of money in order to secure their account. The fraudsters will trick the victim into believing that funds have been added to their account, when in fact the funds have been transferred from their line of credit or savings account. In the second scam, suspects may acquire the victim's debit card information and passwords, but are unable to access their accounts because of multi-factor authentication measures. Suspects then contact the victims, claiming to represent their financial institutions and inform them that they must supply a code received by text message or email to authenticate their identification. The victim provides a multi-factor authentication code which grants suspects full access to their bank account. Scams. So here are some tips to avoid these scams, as I explained earlier. Criminals employ call spoofing to mislead victims. Do not assume that the phone numbers shown on your call display are correct. If you receive an inbound call claiming to be from your financial institution, inform the caller that you will call back. Stop the call and dial the number on the back of your bank debit card from another phone, if possible, or wait 10 minutes before making the outgoing call. Never give details about links or URLs acquired by text message or email to fraudsters. Do not disclose codes received via text message or email to anyone. In most situations, these are multi-factor authentication codes that allow fraudsters to access your account. Fraudsters frequently supply the first 4 to 6 numbers on your debit or credit card. Remember that these are the bank identifier numbers, which are used to identify the card issuer. Most debit and credit card numbers issued by certain financial organizations start with the same 4 to 6 digits. Also, if your personal information has previously been compromised due to a breach or phishing message, keep in mind that the information can be utilized to make the communication appear real. Financial institutions and online merchants would never require funds to be transferred to an external account for security concerns. Also, financial organizations or police will never ask you to hand over your bank card or come to your home to pick it up. In conclusion, when someone requests your financial information, examine whether they are authentic and why they need it. In most circumstances, this is sufficient to stop a potential fraudster from further targeting you. So, what are your thoughts about today's video? Don't forget to leave them all in the comments section below.